Good morning. You are joining Miss Stephanie and Miss Ruby for Ballet Bar Fitness. And today is a total body day. Welcome. You need a mat and you need some hydration and you need a sweat towel maybe.
And
you can also have
if you have them, you can have some workout. You can have some.
Can you go show those to the camera?
Some mini weights.
Okay. 1 to 5 pound weights, if you would like, as an augmentation.
This is what we're
Thank you. We're using a 2 pound weight. You can get a really great workout with no weights.
And you need these stretchy things. You can fold them into this shape.
Resistance loop.
Resistance.
And what Ruby's talking about is many of you at home have a TheraBand that is one long band, and you can tie it into a circle if you would like to double up there. We'll show you how you can use that today.
It sometimes gets tangled like this, but I just flip it out.
Yeah, we need to put this down while we exercise.
Oh, but I want to comb my hair.
Yeah, that will be after our workout. We're on camera working out right now. Can you get to it? We got to do this later, honey. You can also, if you are, I know that I've got some friends that join me on the weighted vest bandwagon, and if you've got your weighted vest, you can wear it too. I did a live creative movement class and a live hip hop class yesterday, and I'm tired. On only Tuesday, so I'm gonna go without my weighted vest at least for a little while here. Okay, Miss Ruby, can you join on your mat? Can you get on your mat, please? Is what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna put the remote here so that when our video's over, I'll ask you to stop it. Okay, but not now. Oh, now we're gonna come into the center of our mat. And Miss Ruby, I'm gonna dance over here so that they can see you on my other side like we usually do. We're gonna take a deep breath in. Up and down, and then do that one more time. Up and down, and then we're gonna begin our warm up here. Center second, and then over for a little lunge. You can keep this in a lunge here, or you can make it a reach and hit second and then reach. You can also have your weights here. If you'd like, you can start the day with a tiny weight. If you were going to lift weights and do heavier than 5 pounds, you would not warm up with your weights. But if they're under 5 pounds and we're just using their weight basically to add a bit more cardio, you can warm up with them right away. Switch to this lateral spine stretch here from side to side. And again, you can keep your weights for that. I got goofed up there. My mat tried to jump up underneath me. We do these ones, and then we go to our parallel squat position here. Down and up, down. When you come up, make sure you really squeeze your glutes and almost tuck your pelvis. Keep your lower back long. Don't try and arch your back as you come up there. You can also make that a releve, right?
Or you can jump it.
Or you can jump it. That's right. Thank you, Miss Ruby. You can also swing your arms up and down with or without your weights. But again, as you do that, make sure that you protect your lower back. Keep your abdominals supported and come up. Whichever version of that you chose, do 16 and then come to the edge of your mat for some plank work. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Come down into a long lunge here. And as you know, I like to start with 4 pulses and then switch and do 4 pulses. And I like to do that right, left before I start going any faster with things, because I'm opening my hips. You can modify this by being here in each position. So I'm gonna add the twist, and I'm gonna do 2 pulses with a twist. Switch, switch. So now I can fit that into 4 counts if I was using music, which I'm not, so that you can play your own music over me. You can go here. I forgot to say, but if you do have weights, you need to put them down for this part. Nice job, Miss Ruby. Last one, twist, come center, come to full plank, or in my case, knee plank. So I'm gonna inch back here and fold up my mat so that I've got some doubles here, some doubled up space to protect my knees. And then also remember, when you're doing a knee plank here, get all the way forward onto the meaty tops of your thighs. You're not supposed to be on the kneecap there. Get all the way forward. We're doing some traditional push-ups. You can hold this plank instead of doing the push-up work. You can hold it in full plank, or you can hold it in forearm plank if you have wrist challenges. Whew. 2 more, 1 more.
You can just skip this if you have a wrist, injury. If you have a wrist.
Well, we don't want them to skip it completely, but they can do a forearm plank so that their wrist isn't involved at all. Come press up there and come to center. Find your weights again if you're using them. But you can do a forearm plank, or you can do a full plank if your wrists will support you, but they just don't want to be bent and straightened. You can join there. Come back here with me. Some of us have chronic wrist problems that need that forearm plank. You need to just not do things that make your wrist problem worse. Come center. Now we're gonna do center like a fitness squat, right? And then open to turn out grand plie. Fitness squat, grand plie. Oh, thank you. Here, turn out. You can still have your weights for this if you like. Miss Ruby, if you dance that way a little bit, they can see you if you want to be seen. But back to wrist work. Some of us, go ahead and rest for a moment, come to first position. Some of my students specifically are prone to the wrist not feeling very good in those positions, but it is because of a lack of flexibility and strength. And so if you're trying to work on that, you could hold the full plank. Don't push up if it usually leaves you with an injured or a hurt, those sore wrists, but you can start to hold that full plank in order to start to build up that muscle there. We also have a video coming of a wrist exercise that Miss Veronica does because she does struggle with wrist pain, and we're going to share it with some of the rest of you for those of you that want to work it a little bit more. Come down. Woo! Those are just elevates in first. So you've got your weights, you can bring them to chest height. We're going to do a curtsy lunge step. Curtsy lunge step. When you curtsy lunge, you want to cross over a bit. This is like where the ballerina shines, right? In this lunge, we get to turn our legs out at the hip, but the heel is popped in the back, and it really gets into those gluteal muscles. Okay, back and forth. You can also here, instead of just a step to change sides, you can make that a little glissade. 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 Good. Come up for a moment, get a drink. And then we're gonna do those. We're gonna do those curtsy lunges to développé that I'm so fond of. So you come down into your curtsy lunge and out to, I hesitate to call this a tendu because if you zoom in on my foot here, I absolutely have all of my toes spread out on the ground and the ball of my foot on the ground. but it is like to a touch. Come back and développé. Curtsy lunge, touch, curtsy lunge. And I'm doing 2 pulses in my curtsy lunge, just so that when I do this with music, it lines up with the music. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. If you've got your weights, you can hang on to them because we're gonna do the other leg. Whew. But set them, keep them close by, but set them down if you're using them, because before we do that, we're going to do a little bar interlude. So find whatever you're holding on to for a bar. Are you gonna use the skinny wall? Yeah, you wanna use a weight? You can use a weight for this part.
Actually,
She's gonna get a drink. You are, can't see me over here. I'm experimenting with new technology today, friends, so forgive me. I'm just gonna bring you over to my skinny wall here. It's really low tech, but here it is, okay? I'm gonna do my weak side first because we know I like to do that. I'm gonna pull my mat over here to cushion my feet, and I'm gonna start in a 4th position. And like, for those of you that take men's class, like a 4th opposite first. So like find your first
side.
and then here. Excellent. And then up you go. And you can either, sorry, I need to pop this ankle a little bit. You can either keep your hand on your hip, or you can actually grab those weights. Sorry, I told you to put them down. And you can hold them up above your head for this part. We're in a 4-starch plie 4th position. And we're pulsing, holding the weights above our heads. You can, we say 4-starch, I say 4-starch as shorthand for those of us who are dancers that know what foot and leg position that is. But in 4-starch, there are rules about like the angle of your leg here. In a fitness setting, there are not. So if you can go down lower and that feels good, you can do that. It's more of a challenge for your legs. So, enjoy that. Whoo! You do not have to come up if you don't need a break like I do, but I need a tiny break before you find a place to stay down there low. You had your arm up here in 3rd. Now I want you to bring it down to goalpost, and I want you to bring the hand forward and back, and as you do that, I want you to squeeze your pelvis forward, like you're doing a gluteal squeeze while you hold that 4-starch position. We're gonna do 4 more. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Ooh, thank goodness that's over. Ooh. We're gonna do some of that low développé work that I like. This ankle really does need to pop and it will not. And you can, again, if you've got your weights still, you can hold them here. I'm gonna start with my left leg because that's my weaker leg. And I'm gonna be bend the knee I'm standing on, fondue that leg, or plie that leg, and then I'm going to stretch, stretch, stretch. So I'm not moving my arm yet. I'm going front and side and back and side. And so you can let this get higher and higher as soon as you want it to. I gotta tell you what, mine's fine. It's fine right where it is. Whew. And then you can begin to move the arm in port or bras if you would like, back and side and front. I'm making this weird shape with my hands because I'm pretending to hold a weight. But if you're not holding a weight, you can just do the ballet arm last time and here. Whew. Take a tiny break. And then we've got to do the other side on the bar. And then we'll go back to other side for those développés. This is like an Oreo cookie exercise. It's sandwiching itself. So I'm gonna leave the camera over here. Ooh, you okay, sis?
Yeah.
Good. Now I'm gonna turn, now I get to do my strong side. So I'm gonna turn away from you so I have my left hand on my bar or wall, and then I'm gonna find my first, and then I'm gonna step my right foot forward into 4th opposite first, and then I'm gonna plie deeply and lift my heels to find my forestarch in my feet. And then I'm gonna pulse here. And now again, you can put your hand on your hip, which is where I'm gonna keep mine. But if you have your weights, you can hold them out here or above your head is what we did on the other side. So you pulse up and down. And again, because this is a fitness setting, if you can pulse lower because that'll get your legs turned on even more. Whew. Don't pull so low that you fall down. Okay, bring your hand into goal post and pelvic tilt squeeze as you lift and lower. So I'm holding my hand, again, in the shape as though I'm holding a weight. And in this case, because this isn't a ballet port de bras anyway, go ahead and do that. It helps concentrate your movement in your pelvis. 2 more, 1 more. So that's one of the only times that I'm gonna ask you to actually, I do want you to arch in your back so that then you can squeeze. And you notice there that as we lengthen, we are not asking, as we lengthen it back there, we're not asking our back to support us, and we don't have any weight on it when we do that. We don't wanna, we should not do that. Oh, I forgot something. I'm gonna come back here. We have to do our développés. So now your weight, if you've got them, is in your second position, and you're gonna do these extensions front.
I need to do some stretches.
Good, and back and side. Here we are. Lengthening. And then again, you can move higher and involve your port de bras as soon as you're ready. Squeezing your gluteal muscles and keeping your rotators engaged. Last one to the side. Oh. Now we finished, and we can come center to finish out those curtsy lunges and développés on the other side. So I'm going to square you back up again. You good? There you are. There you are. Yeah. All right, Miss Ruby, you ready? We did this side, so now I need to do this side. If you have your weights, you can hold them here at chest height. Pulse, pulse, and stretch, touch. Pulse, pulse, and développé. Pulse, pulse, and touch. And pulse, pulse, and extend. Pulse, pulse, touch. Pulse, pulse, extend. Woo!
I'm really hot.
Are you? Touch. 1 more. Pulse, pulse, extend. Whew. Now, we're going to come to the center of your mat if you haven't already, and we're going to go in second position. Men's class does this. We hold our second, and then we press to a pitched place, okay? So when I push, when we push up, my hips and my belly button are going to stay facing you. Okay, my leg does rotate, but it rotates forward towards you so that I'm in what we consider to be parallel second with the top of my thigh, my knee, the top of my ankle, and the top of my foot pointed at you and at the camera, okay? So we're turned out here, and then we have to turn everything in. Boom, turned out, boom. If you are not a dancer, and you're joining me just as a fitness person, I recommend you just stay in a parallel squat here, and then you can raise everything up, and then you can tell yourself, oh, that's right, and I keep my hips and my kneecaps and my belly button pointed at Stephanie in the camera. But if you are my ballet students, then do this work, which is extremely dynamic, and working all your turn out, turn in and hold, turn out, turn in and hold. Do 2 more, turn out, turn in and hold. 1 more, turn out, turn in and stay there, maybe, and pulse through the waist and through the gluteal muscle, lifting, lifting. 4 more, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoo, rest. You can hold your weights for all of that business.
And you can hold the wall.
You can hold the wall if you need to. I have days when my balance isn't very good, and sometimes I do the whole bar fitness video, or the workout that I've designed for myself, I do it at the bar, even though a lot of it is meant to not be that way, because maybe all I need is just second, and then every time I come up here to be able to touch something for a moment. But if you need that, just do it. It's still a lot of balance work to just touch and come back. Sometimes your brain needs a steadying focus. Okay, we have to do the other side. Here we are, turned out, and then parallel. Turned out, parallel, turned out. This is a really complicated movement, large dynamic movement, and then incorporating all the small intrinsic muscles that help us turn out and keep us safe. So make sure that you are doing this correctly. Watch my heel in my right leg pivoting every time to parallel. If yours is not doing that, pause. You need to do this the way I just introduced for people who are just a fitness friend. Okay, we do not want you to have a below the knee injury because you were trying something new for exercise. Now, if you have your weights, find your weights. I am gonna find my weights for this. We're gonna do some port de bras, and in order to involve our lower body as well, we're going to find our second position grand plie, and we're going to hold it. Bring them out, point the ends of your weights at me, and stretch out to the sides in second, remembering that your arms need to be in front of your body when we look at you from the side. We don't want them to be back here with a weight in them. Okay, that's not safe. And we're pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. 8 pulses there, and then come center, pulse, pulse, pulse. Very good. Now grip them in a hammer grip like they're designed to. Turn your hands out and under so your thumbs are pointed toward the ground, and pulse, pulse, pulse. Bring them in together. Now your fingers are touching, and pulse up and down, up and down. 6, 7. Do that all again. Get them long, stretch them out to second, and pulse up. Little pulses up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bring them together. Pulse up. 2, 3. Check your second. If it's starting to get high, get low again. Regrip for hammer. Turn them upside down. Thumbs facing down. Press out. Now we're not pressing up anymore. We're pressing out. We're squeezing our trapeze. Oh. I can't even say the words. Our traps. We're squeezing our traps together. Bring them center. Squeeze. This one is a lift and lower, but with a slightly different grip. 6, 7, 8. Our trapezius muscle. That's what I was trying to say earlier. You can put those weights down. We're going to go back to the bar for some arabesque work. If you're in my advanced ballet class, this work is from your fondue. It's from your fondue. So that means that we are going to plie the leg we're standing on. I'm going to use my weak leg first. I'm going to plie the leg that I'm standing on and lift and lower from tendu and lift. I'm going to do that 8 times. Then I'm going to keep it up and I'm going to pulse it 8 times. Then I'm going to bend it and flex my heel and press up towards the ceiling. All right. And then I'm going to put my knees together and point and fire hydrant out and back. Okay, those are the things I'm going to do. I want you to do 8 of each of those things. And that is also what we were going to do. Right, Miss Ruby? You can hold on to the bar like this. And this is a really good example of something that you do in this posture that I'm about to adopt here is something that's appropriate for like a dance fitness class and would be really, really, really not the right choice in a ballet class. So I'm going to work in parallel today because those are the muscles that I need to cross train, and I'm going to bend the right knee, and then I'm going to send the left one out into tendu derriere and then lift and lower. And like I say every time, I'm gonna keep this in a place in my body where I'm using my hamstrings and my gluteal muscles and the outer right rotators to support all of this. I'm not gonna let it go any higher because then it goes into my low back, and that's not what I want. Pulse it up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring it in and flex, press up to the ceiling and down, up and down, and down. 4 more like that. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Ooh, you can do your fire hydrants if you're ready. My body was gonna fall down, so it needs a minute. Whew. You bring your knees together and point fire hydrant out and in. Really check your core here. This is the kind of thing, if you're not careful, oh, one more. Oh, if you're not careful in a position like that, you can catch your core actually tensing, and it presses out a bit in order to try and bear what you're doing, but then you want to connect with that and be intentional about lifting it in, which is actually a safer and better way to support your body. I'm glad that was straightforward for you. I'm gonna do my other leg, so I'm gonna find myself in parallel. I'm gonna plie both knees, and then I'm gonna bring the right leg out into a parallel tendu derriere, and then I'm gonna lift it and lower it, keeping it out of my lower back. 4 more like that. 2 more. 1 more. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now we go flex and press. I like to lean more forward for this one because I can get more range of motion without getting it into my lower back. And that feels harder in my supporting leg.
And don't hit your face on the wall because I
Knees
always
together.
do that.
Ooh. Knees together, point, and fire hydrant. Check your core. Fire hydrant. These ones are the very hardest for me. We must do 4 more, but I need a tiny break. Whew. Here are my last 4. 4, and 3,
1,
and 2,
3.
and 1. Are you trying to make my counting harder?
Sorry.
Oh. Whew. You lived. I hope that was as hard for you as it was for me. If you are Ruby and you're like, that wasn't hard at all, then we need to intensify for you.
You can intensify it.
Mm-hmm. And the way that you intensify that last exercise is, of course, more repetitions and also more deeply plie the leg that you're standing on. And then you can take, we are only pulsing those arabesques, okay, those very first ones that we lift and lowered, then we hold it up and we pulse it. You can pulse all the things, right? So you can do this one that presses up towards the ceiling, and that right now we're doing a full range of motion, knee together, press toward the ceiling, staying in parallel. You can do 8, and then you can be there, and then you can do 8 pulses. And then you can bring your knee together, and after you've done your 8 fire hydrants here, you can hold that one open. I'm going to show you that from the side because it is still in parallel, and you can pulse that one. You can also extend this leg and pulse that one. Okay, so there are some options for intensifying if that's something you need. Get a drink, towel off, and then we're going to come down to the floor and use our little weights to do a little bit of core work.
Is it okay if I use your towel?
It's laundry day at our house, so we only have 1 sweat towel left. So Ruby and I are sharing. All right. Seated on our mat, with or without weights, this is going to be difficult. We're going to do some various V-sit work. So I'm going to sit, I'm going to find the two bones of my pelvis, my sits bones, my ischial tuberosities, and I'm going to make sure I'm right on top of those. I'm not going to roll onto the back of my pelvis and turn on my hip flexors, okay? And then with your feet flat on the ground, you can start to lean back in a flat back, which does rock you onto the edge of your ischial tuberosities, but you've come from a flat back place here and you're maintaining it, and so that should turn on more of your lower abdominals, a little bit your hip flexors, but not in the same way, because our pelvis is still pressing forward there, okay? And you can hold this if this is where you're at. So this is very difficult for me. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm trembling a bit and I'm lightly putting my fingertips on my knees. But if I was holding my weights, I would hold them here in front of me, okay? And hold that. Now, many of you know, I'm gonna have to put my hands down to demonstrate, that many of you know you can extend one leg in that position or you can extend both. However, when I do that, I can feel my pelvis is forward. I'm sitting up tall, I have long stuff going on, long back. And then as soon as I lift this one, did you see it? If your leg lifting does that, because this is offered in a dance setting, don't do it, put it back down. You can start by doing elevate. I don't know if you can see this, but I've got my demi point. I'm sorry, I'm distracted because I've got some kind of an echo all of a sudden. You can start on elevate to get a little bit less weight on your feet, and then you can start by lifting one down here, right? You don't have to go to like a full straighten right away. So that's what I can do. I can do one, right? And then I switch as I'm holding this. And in a perfect world, we want you to hold this for 1 whole minute, holding this. So you can switch back and forth if you want. Sometimes I watch the clock and I do one leg for 15 seconds and then I switch. And then I go back the way I came. Do this one again for a total of 60 seconds. But we're holding that there. Trying to keep our back flat. Whew. Come up out of that. Whew. Oh my goodness. I know lots of you love V work. If you do, you know who's really good at V work is Miss Desiree. If you love your V work, you can also hold the V. Imagine both of my legs are in the air, right? You can hold the V and you can do arms to third, arms to second as you hold the V. Oh, I've got a hole in my leggings. I'll fix that after this video. You can also hold your weights and do those arms that I just showed you. And you can also take it to the ground into a Pilates C, which puts your lower back and your mid back flat on the ground. Your pelvis is lifted up, and so are your shoulders. And then you extend out into a V, and then you can do your arms here as well, arms, which this is actually easier for me. I like this better. I can engage my glutes here. I can turn off my hip flexors a bit more, and I can turn my abdominals on a bit more. So you can do that there. And as an added intensifier in this position here, you can bring it all in and then out, and then in and then out, in and out, in and out. And again with weights. Okay, so you can do any of those options. You can do a couple of those options and do them for a minute each if you want to. If you say to yourself, you know what I want. If you say to yourself, I want 5 minutes of core at the end of my video, then do that. 1 minute of holding your V is challenging enough for me that I'm well done with that. I'm good right there. But if you would like more, what we're trying to do here, Miss Ruby and I, are make some videos of material that has lots of different levels in it so that you can suit yourself, whether you are a studio parent with just a fitness background or maybe you're a beginner and you've never really worked out as a routine. You can join us and join me for some of the modifications and things of that nature. I'm just in a forward fold and I'm pedaling here. Or you can, if you were my Ballet 4-5 group, Miss Lizzie's point group, my men's class group, or Miss Lizzie or my advanced group, you can use this and do some of the more advanced options and make it in lieu of, essentially take it in exchange for your center work. So you can do your bar at home with your video, then do your bar stretch or the floor stretch that we've included, and then do one of these videos as your center work. So we'll give you some options there so that you have different echelons. We also have different echelons of difficulty because one day might be different from the rest. Some days I feel like, yes, get it, and I've got my weighted vest on and I'm doing the highest thing and all the stuff, and on other days, not so much. So today I feel really, really good about what I did, and I feel like happily tired but not blitzed, which is great because I've got a big day ahead of me. So thanks for joining us. Sister, do you want to use the remote to turn us off?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Bye, folks.
Bye, folks. We're just going to press the button here. Bye.
Awkward. One more time.